A wife was making a breakfast of fried eggs for her husband. Suddenly, her husband burst into the kitchen. "Careful," he said. "Careful. Put in some more butter. Oh my gosh! You're cooking too many at once. Too many. Turn them. Turn them now. We need more butter. Oh my gosh! Where are we going to get more butter? They're going to stuck. Careful. Careful. I said be careful. You never listen to me when you're cooking. Never. Turn them. Hurry up. Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Don't forget to salt them. You know, you always forget to salt them. Use the salt. Use the salt. The salt. The wife stared at him. What in the world is wrong with you? You think I don't know how to fry a couple of eggs? The husband calmly replied, I just wanted to show you what it feels like when I'm driving. 1. Traditional capitalism. You have 2 cows. You sell one and buy a bull. Your herd multiplies and the economy grows. You sell them and retire on the income. Socialism. The government takes one and gives it to your neighbor. Communism. You have 2 cows. The state takes both and gives you some milk. Fascism. You have 2 cows. The state takes both and sells you some milk. Nazism. You have 2 cows. The government takes both and shoots you. Bureaucratism. You have 2 cows. The state takes both, shoots one, milks the other, and then throws the milk away. Venture capitalism. You have 2 cows. You sell 3 of them to your publicly listed company, using letters of credit opened by your brother-in-law at the bank, and then execute a debt equity swap with an associated general offer so that you get all 4 cows back, with a tax exemption for 5 cows. The milk rights of the 6 cows are transferred via an intermediary to a Cayman Island company, secretly owned by the majority shareholder, who sells the rights to all 7 cows back to your listed company. The annual report says the company owns 8 cows, with an option on 1 more. 2. There was a preacher whose wife was expecting a baby, so he went before the congregation and asked for a raise. After much discussion, they passed a rule that whenever the preacher's family expanded, so would his paycheck. After 6 children, this started to get expensive, and the congregation decided to hold another meeting to discuss the preacher's salary. There was much yelling and bickering about how much the clergyman's additional children were costing the church. Finally, the preacher got up and spoke to the crowd. "Children are a gift from God," he said. Silence fell on the congregation. In the back pew, a little old lady stood up and in her frail voice said, "Rain is also a gift from God, but when we get too much of it, we wear rubbers." And the congregation said, "Amen." 3. Once upon a time, there was a thief and a politician who were friends. One day, they entered a chocolate store. While they were busy looking around, the thief stole 3 chocolate bars. As they left the store, the thief said to the politician, "Man, I'm the best thief ever. I stole 3 chocolates and no one saw me. You can't beat that." The politician replied, "You want to see something better? Let's go back to the shop, and I'll show you real stealing." So they went to the counter, and politician said to the shopkeeper, "Hey, do you want to see magic?" The shopkeeper replied, "Sure." The politician says, "Give me 1 chocolate bar." The shopkeeper gave him one, and he ate it. He asked for a second, and he ate that as well. He asked a third, and finished that one too. the shopkeeper asked. "But where's the magic?" The politician replied, "Check in my friend's pocket and you'll find it." 4. I've heard some people are really going crazy from isolation. I'm glad I'm not one of those. I've just been talking about this with the microwave and toaster while drinking coffee, and all of us agreed that things are getting bad. I didn't mention anything to the washing machine, as she puts a different spin on everything. Certainly not to the fridge, as he is acting cold and distant. The sink just said everything is going down the drain. In the end, the iron calmed me down, as she said everything will be fine, the situation isn't that pressing. The vacuum was very unsympathetic, told me to just suck it up, but the fan was more optimistic and felt it would all soon blow over. The toilet looked a bit flushed when I asked its opinion, and it didn't say anything, but the doorknob told me to get a grip. The front door said I was unhinged, and then the curtains told me to pull myself together. 5. Law of the theatre. At any event, the people whose seats are furthest from the aisle arrive last. The Starbucks edict. As soon as you sit down to a cup of hot coffee, your boss will ask you to do something which will last until the coffee is cold. Murphy's Law of Lockers. If there are only 2 people in a locker room, they will have adjacent lockers. Law of Physical Surfaces. The chances of an open-faced marmalade sandwich landing face down on a floor covering are directly correlated to the newness and cost of the carpet. The conundrum of logical argument. Anything is possible if you don't know what you are talking about. Brown's Law of Physical Appearance. If the shoe fits, it's ugly. Oliver's Rule of Public Speaking. A closed mouth gathers no feet. Will's favourite, Wilson's Law of Commercial Marketing Strategy. As soon as you find a product that you really like, they will stop making it. Doctor's Law. If you don't feel well, make an appointment to go to the doctor. By the time you get there, you'll feel better. Don't make an appointment and you'll stay sick. Will and Guy's Law. If you don't save things on your computer, you will, sooner rather than later, delete them. 6. A big city lawyer went duck hunting in rural North Alberta. He shot and dropped a bird, but it fell into a farmer's field on the other side of a fence. As the lawyer climbed over the fence, an elderly farmer drove up on his tractor and asked him what he was doing. The litigator responded, "I shot a duck and it fell in this field, and now I'm going to retrieve it." The old farmer, Peter, replied, "This is my property, and you are not coming over here." The indignant lawyer said, "I am one of the best trial lawyers in Canada, and if you don't let me get that duck, I'll sue you and take everything you own." The old farmer smiled and said, "Apparently, you don't know how we settle disputes in Alberta. We settle small disputes like this with a free take rule." The lawyer asked, "What is the free take rule?" The farmer replied, "Well, because the dispute occurs on my land, I get to go first. I'll kick you 3 times, and then you kick me 3 times, and so on back and forth until someone gives up." Proposed contest and decided that he could easily take the old codger. He agreed to abide by the local custom. The old farmer slowly climbed down from the tractor and walked up to the attorney. His first kick planted the toe of his heavy steel-toed work boot into the lawyer's groin and dropped him to his knees. His second kick to the midriff sent the lawyer's last meal gushing from his mouth. The lawyer was on all fours when the farmer's third kick to his rear end sent him face first into a fresh cow pie. Summoning every bit of his will and remaining strength, the lawyer very slowly managed to get to his feet. Wiping his face with the arm of his jacket, he said, "Okay, you old fart, now it's my turn." The old farmer smiled and said, "You can have the duck." 7. A blonde walked into an electronics store and said to the salesman, "I want that TV." The salesperson shook his head and said, "No, we don't sell to blondes." So the blonde left and came back with her hair dyed brown and said, "I'll take that TV." Again, the salesman said, "No, we don't sell to blondes." So she left again and came back with a hat, a fake nose, and with her hair dyed black and said, "I want that TV." But the salesman still said, "Sorry, we don't sell to blondes." Finally, the blonde got fed up and said, "That's it. How do you keep guessing I'm a blonde?" she asked. "Because that's a microwave." 8. A Catholic man goes to confession. "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." He begins. "Go on, my son," says the priest. "I swore the other day, in the most profane way," says the man. "Continue," says the priest. "I was on the golf course and I hit my drive. It was looking perfect, heading dead straight. About 200 yards down, my ball hit a power line crossing the fairway." "And this is when you swore?" asked the priest. "No, Father. My ball then ricocheted off the power lines and flew off into the deep rough," said the man. "Ah, so this must have been when you swore," said the priest. "No, Father, not yet. As I was walking over to the rough to hit my second shot, a hawk flew down from the trees, picked my ball up in his beak, and proceeded to fly off with it," continued the man. "Oh, I see," says the priest. "This must have been the point where you swore." "You'd think so, but no, because as the bird flew over the green, the ball fell from its mouth and landed just 2 feet from the hole." They both remain quiet for a few seconds. Then the priest says, "You missed the fuss in putt, didn't you?"